Living in London, to me, is a kind of turning point. This now is the first time in my life I'm living in a city, so I firstly really had to struggle with calming down. I was so stressed out by all the noise, the people, the traffic, the dirt, pollution, everything. Especially with London, you can do everything you like. I mean, there's everything around. There are these people on the tube or on public transport with these stressed looks on their face, and they look really, I don't know, enclosed and annoyed. They don't really want to get in touch with somebody. You know, you might get there when you're living here for 20 years. I have this love-hate relationship with London. At the moment it's more love than hate, but I had phases where I thought, I cannot stand this city any longer. I was always Anglophile since I was a teenager. I loved England, but more the Cornwall countryside, the kind of romantic view many Germans or continentals have about England. London I always find a bit overwhelming and too big. The train's not working, mismanagements in places and national health system and all of this remind me terribly of East Germany.
It's a city of 8 or 10 million, so it's enormous. And I had always the impression it will be a very anonymous city. What I found is the village aspect of neighborhoods makes it more digestible somehow. And so, though I'm sitting here and surrounded by 10 million other people close by, it doesn't feel like it.
I try to do everything by bike. Londoners complain about pollution, but if you see them sitting in their cars, they always have the engine running. And I just nobody keeps their engine running in Germany. You would have people knocking on your window asking you to shut off the engine because it's a matter of thinking. I don't know, there's so many examples when I'm thinking, and I do feel very, very, very German in these minutes. Environment is not on the screen, it's just not important. And I think that's very peculiar because this is an island and you just can't get away, can you? I met my partner in Germany. He grew up in London, he's a true Londoner. Our children have an even more interesting mixture as they are half German and all the other nationalities coming in there. You met this all the time in London. You've got all this rich cultural mixture of people, which is really quite beautiful. From the start, I thought it would be impossible if my children couldn't have a conversation with their grandparents. We read German books, we have German videos, we go to the German Saturday school, toddler group. Bilingualism isn't easy.
As an architect, you design buildings. I would think in Germany things are probably more standardized and maybe the regulations are also stricter. I feel in this country maybe there is more awareness that you also can restore, so to speak, the soul out of a building.
Currently I'm working on a gilded side table, which is rather exciting. It's amazing what kind of detail comes out with the original gesso. I've never seen any furniture like that in Germany. That quality, I wouldn't find it. I think society is a lot more traditional in England. I mean, same with furniture. It's a lot more common to have something that came down the family than in Germany. But it's valued in a different way as well. So I think it's a traditional thing. They don't understand each other. English and Germans don't understand their body language even. Even simple things, we're very direct. That's what I sometimes miss on the British. They say everything ever so nice and don't upset anybody, and even critique is not really a critique, and you never quite know if they really mean what they just said. So you have to read between the lines a lot with the English people, and I learned that over the years, but I had to learn it the hard way.
If I'm now, some people say, oh, do come in any time. It doesn't mean the same what it means in Germany. And I feel I need to get to know somebody better before I would take people up on that, because people just make nice, polite sounds, but and as long as you know that's what it is, then that's okay.
We would say things a lot more direct and will come across as rude, just because we name them the way they are and don't put 20 pleases and I'm sorries in between.
There is a shadow side to it, that people avoid any confrontation or conflict, which sometimes might be healthy.
Each time England plays Germany in football, we have the blitzkrieg coming out and all that headlines, somebody with a helmet on and a Hitler beard under their nose. But things like even clicking your heels together because you're German and saying Achtung or something like that, as if that is all we do all day.
Well, I think there is, like all stereotypes, I would think, of different cultures, there is obviously a sort of core which has truth in it. Like any particular trait in a nation, it has a sort of positive side and it has a negative side, really. So the German reliability and cleanness and precision is obviously doesn't lend itself so much to being hanging loose and having fun and humor.
It's very hard to get to know people. It's very hard to get to know Londoners mainly, I think. Oh no, although I know one. Yeah, and he's very nice. I would think in London I mostly know Germans. I want to get to know more English people and, well, not English. I mean, I don't care about the nationality, but I don't want to have this little Germany here. I want to be in London.
You feel in some way you're really connected with the rest of the world. I mean, you just only have to go on the tube and listen to the different languages or see the different faces and colors. And it is a truly cosmopolitan city.
There's still problems and prejudices and things that we feel uneasy about to go and wave the German flag out there. You really don't want to do that. So I think other communities they have that advantage of, you know, they're quite confident.
Spaniards or South Americans are much more hanging out with each other. I mean, that's sort of my perception from the distance. But maybe their way of relating is altogether more different to the English way. So they like to mix more with their own countrymen and women. I don't know.
There's, I mean, Little Italy in New York, Chinatown here, and, you know, there's this Portuguese area in Stockwell, and I think there are loads of communal areas like that. And I think that's still a German thing, to try and not be German.
For an outsider, Germans and English aren't that different, I would think. For somebody, say, from Indonesia or Thailand or whatever, they would think we are very close. So seeing it in a larger perspective, we probably are quite close. Well, they got a German royal family here.